Our world is full of ancient wonders, but there's one massive problem. Not all of them are open to everyone, not even to experts. Some sites are cloaked in layers of secrecy. Maybe they're locked down by authorities, protected by secret groups, or just too dangerous to go in. But let's lift those walls, hypothetically, and peek into the forbidden archaeological sites no one is allowed to enter. Number 15. China's Jiangsu National Security Museum. Not all museums welcome foreign eyes, especially this one. The Jiangsu National Security Education Museum is located in Nanjing and is exclusively open to just 100% pure Chinese citizens. I mean, foreign nationals aren't just discouraged, they're entirely banned. Inside, the museum houses a dense collection of espionage devices and intelligence records spanning decades. Exhibits range from disguised firearms to hidden cameras, spy gadgets, cipher machines, and other tools of surveillance. Many of the items are considered too sensitive for public release, which is why the government bars outside researchers. Even Chinese visitors must prove they are real Chinese. Displays trace the evolution of China's secret service and its covert missions, including real intelligence operations. Some believe the museum doesn't just reveal the past, but hints at modern espionage as well. Since no foreigners are ever allowed inside, most of what we know comes secondhand. Who knows what exactly this Chinese thing is? Number 14. Malta's Forbidden Ruins. On Malta's windswept western edge is Ras Raheb. It's a cryptic Punic Roman archaeological site that remains largely untouched. Despite its evident cultural value, entry is nearly impossible, not due to government denial, but because of private claims and legal boundaries. Scholars suspect the ruins once served as a sacred temple or elite retreat, dating back more than 2 millennia. Yet legal complications have prevented proper investigation. In 2003, a group of hikers that included archaeologists attempted to visit and were swiftly ordered off by a private hunter asserting land rights. That moment sparked national debate. Should historical landmarks be locked away because of private control? Decades later, the site remains closed to both the public and researchers. No official excavation has taken place, and no preservation efforts have been recorded. Ras Raheb continues to sit abandoned, its purpose and history frozen in legal dispute. Unless those humans change their minds, its secrets may remain forever out of reach. Number 13. Mount Weather's Hidden Underground Complex. This classified federal facility is so restricted that even senior officials have limited clearance. This isn't your average military base or emergency refuge. It's an immense underground city, engineered to preserve U.S. government functions during a national crisis. Beneath the surface lies a fully equipped environment, complete with power stations, housing, medical, centers, and even an artificial lake designed to support long-term survival. It was constructed during the Cold War around the 1990s and has remained heavily sealed ever since. Managed by FEMA, it is reportedly the main relocation site for top-tier government officials if Washington, D.C. becomes uninhabitable. Adding another layer of secrecy is the rumored shadow government assigned to take control if the main administration is incapacitated. Their identities remain classified. Though referenced in certain documents, Mount Weather's true capabilities and everyday operations are still hidden. Speculation continues about tunnels, advanced surveillance, and covert scientific programs, none of which any independent researcher has been allowed to verify. Number 12. Japan's Ise Grand Shrine. This grand shrine is among the world's most sacred religious sites and among the most heavily restricted. Located in Mie Prefecture, the shrine is the spiritual heart of Shinto and is dedicated to the sun goddess Amaterasu. Although it has existed for centuries, every 20 years, the entire complex is dismantled and rebuilt in a ritual called Shikinen Sengu, which is a tradition that dates back over 1,300 years. Despite its age and religious importance, access to the shrine's inner sanctum is denied to the public. Only members of Japan's imperial family and high-ranking Shinto priests are permitted to enter. The outer grounds are open, but beyond the towering fences, the most sacred structures remain out of reach. No archaeological digs are allowed, no studies permitted. Some say the secrecy protects the shrine's spiritual purity. Others suspect deeper truths may be hidden beneath. Whatever the reason, Ise Grand Shrine remains impenetrable to researchers, its ancient legacy preserved behind walls of ritual and reverence. Number 11. The Ark of the Covenant Chapel. Among the most heavily protected sites on Earth stands a modest chapel in Ethiopia, said to enshrine the Ark of the Covenant. According to religious lore, this legendary and supremely sacred artifact has rested here for centuries, making it one of the most vital relics in theological history. The chapel is part of the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion and remains under strict surveillance. Only one guardian monk is permitted inside, devoting his entire life to safeguarding the Ark. No scholars, tourists, or even senior Ethiopian clergy are allowed entry. This strict isolation has long fueled disputes among theologians and archaeologists over whether the Ark truly exists or is part of myth. Despite countless requests, Ethiopia continues to deny any kind of external validation or inspection. Some argue that the intense secrecy enhances the artifact's spiritual gravity. Others suspect it conceals inconvenient truths. Regardless, the chapel stands as one of the most secluded and unexplored historical sites on the planet. What's your take on this? Number 10. RAF Menwith Hill in North Yorkshire. Stands RAF Menwith Hill. Let's say it's one of the most closely guarded intelligence stations in the world. At first glance, it appears almost surreal, a collection of towering white spheres scattered across green hills. These are radomes, massive protective domes concealing sophisticated satellite systems. Officially, it's a Royal Air Force base, but it's jointly operated by the US and UK intelligence services. The station reportedly monitors global communications, collecting data across continents. Archaeologists and independent researchers are completely barred from the premises. The reasoning is simple: what lies inside isn't for public scrutiny. Menwith Hill has long been linked to Echelon, an alleged global surveillance network. Some theories suggest entire subterranean structures lie hidden beneath, purpose unknown. The British government offers no confirmations and rarely comments on the site at all. For those seeking historical insight, there's no entry, no documents, and no access. The only thing that's certain is how little anyone's allowed to know. So, it's not a good idea to go in. Number 9. Australia's Woomer prohibited area. Why is such a colossal part of Australia completely off limits, even to accredited archaeologists? The Woomer prohibited area in South Australia spans an enormous territory, larger than the entire landmass of England. Officially overseen by the Australian Defence Force, the site is used for weapons development, missile testing, and top-secret military programs. But that's just the surface explanation. Beneath this restricted land lies an archaeologically rich zone said to hold ancient fossils, Aboriginal artifacts, and signs of human settlement dating back tens of thousands of years. Still, despite its monumental scientific value, experts aren't granted access. Authorities cite safety concerns. Ongoing military activity creates too many risks. However, some academics believe this also helps conceal finds that could disrupt accepted historical frameworks. There are stories of bizarre geological features, strange engravings, and evidence that could alter mainstream narratives. But without access, all possibilities stay sealed beneath layers of restriction. Are we missing out on revelations that could rewrite Australia's prehistory? Number 8. Pine Gap. Hidden in Australia's central outback is one of the world's most restricted surveillance hubs, and it's called Pine Gap. Officially named the Joint Defense Facility Pine Gap, it's a joint project between the U.S. and Australian governments, operating under a veil of extreme secrecy since the late 1960s. What goes on there? The site functions as a satellite tracking and intelligence base. It plays a critical role in missile detection, signal interception, and drone warfare. A field of massive domes, radomes, shields the complex's satellite systems. Because of its classified operations, conspiracy theories have flourished, with many calling it Australia's answer to Area 51. Yet despite the speculation, access remains impossibly strict. No civilians, researchers, or archaeological experts are allowed near the premises. Pine Gap is just one of many locations where archaeological inquiry hits a dead end. Whether for defense, secrecy, or something more, these mysterious sites keep their secrets sealed behind fences and decades of silence. Number 7. Vatican Secret Archives. The Vatican's secret archives sound like the setting of a thriller, and in many ways they are. Situated in Vatican City, this locked-away collection holds some of the rarest documents on Earth. It contains centuries' worth of papal letters, confidential records, and material that's never been shared with the outside world. Even experienced researchers face heavy restrictions. So what's inside? That remains one of history's biggest unknowns. The archives are said to include everything from private correspondence to banned theological texts. Some believe they contain suppressed writings, lost religious works, or evidence that could reshape major historical events. Only a small, hand-picked group of scholars is ever allowed limited access. And even then, it comes with strict screening. No one wanders the stacks freely. Security is absolute. Whatever secrets the Church is protecting are kept deep behind locked doors. Until the Vatican decides otherwise, the public can only guess at what truth might be sealed inside its vaults. Number 6. Certzi is one of Earth's youngest islands, and it rose from the ocean in 1963 after a volcanic eruption off Iceland's southern coast. Unlike most new land formations, Certzi hasn't been claimed for tourism or exploration. Instead, it was declared a protected scientific reserve almost immediately. The island serves as a rare natural laboratory, allowing researchers to study how life develops without human interference. Over the decades, moss, fungi, insects, birds, and marine life have colonized the island naturally. Even the slightest contamination, pollen on clothing, seeds stuck in boots, could disrupt this delicate process. Because of that, access is tightly regulated. Only a very limited number of scientists are allowed on Certzi, and they must undergo strict decontamination before arrival. Archaeologists are completely barred, as even minor disruption could damage the island's pristine ecosystem. Certzi remains one of the last places on Earth where the birth of land and life is happening without us getting in the way. Number 5. Meshgore. Meshgore is a place so locked down that not even credentialed experts can step inside. Tucked away in Russia's Ural Mountains, this sealed settlement has remained the subject of speculation for years. Officially, it's described as a closed military town. But with thousands of troops guarding the perimeter, something more is clearly going on. Some say it conceals a vast underground nuclear site connected to Mount Yamantau, a mountain long tied to Cold War-era secrecy. Others suspect it's a doomsday bunker reserved for Russia's leadership. Satellite images reveal strange activity, construction zones, excavation equipment, and what appear to be tunnel systems. Yet Russian authorities deny all questions with vague answers or outright refusals. So what's really buried there? Whether it's experimental weapons, strategic shelters, or something else entirely, no one outside government circles is allowed close. For archaeologists and researchers, Meshgore is a blank space, sealed off, heavily guarded, and absolutely unapproachable. Its real purpose remains deliberately unconfirmed. Number 4. Herd Island. Heard Island, a distant volcanic landmass in the southern Indian Ocean, is among the most isolated places on the planet. Though technically part of Australia, it's closer to Antarctica than the mainland. The island holds fragments of forgotten history, 19th century sealing camps, shipwreck remains, and evidence of early exploration. Yet no one is allowed to conduct archaeological digs. Why? The entire island is a strict conservation zone. Protected by the Australian government, it's closed off to all but a handful of scientists studying its glaciers and active volcanoes. The landscape is harsh, covered in ice, whipped by storms, and mostly inaccessible. Any excavation would risk harming the fragile environment. So while the island could contain invaluable clues about early European activity in the southern hemisphere, they remain trapped beneath ash, snow, and time. Heard Island is both a natural wonder and a locked historical capsule, one that researchers can only observe from a distance, never disturb. Number 3. North Brother Island. North Brother Island sits hidden in plain sight within New York's East River. Though so close to the city, it's been completely closed off for years. The island once housed Riverside Hospital, a quarantine facility used during major disease outbreaks like tuberculosis and smallpox. Its most infamous resident was Mary Mallon, better known as Typhoid Mary, who was isolated here for over 20 years. After the hospital shut down, the island became a rehab center for troubled youth. Reports of neglect and mistreatment eventually led to its final closure. Since then, the island has been overtaken by nature, trees growing through walls, vines wrapping abandoned staircases. Now, it serves as a bird sanctuary, protected by law. Entry is banned to preserve wildlife. But beneath the crumbling structures lie stories, ones linked to medical history, forced isolation, and urban decay. Archaeologists and historians remain blocked from exploring its past. North Brother remains one of New York's most unsettling and unreachable places. Number 2. North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island is one of the few places on Earth where modern civilization isn't welcome. Located in the Bay of Bengal, it's home to the Sentinelese, an indigenous people who have lived in complete isolation for thousands of years. The island is completely off-limits, not just because it's remote, but because the Sentinelese violently reject all contact. Any outsiders approaching are immediately met with arrows and spears. Even after the 2004 tsunami, when rescue helicopters flew overhead, the tribe responded with aggression. India has enforced a total ban on access, not to punish anyone, but to protect both the tribe and visitors. The Sentinelese have no immunity to common diseases, so even minor exposure could be devastating. That makes archaeological or scientific study absolutely impossible. No one is allowed to set foot there. The island holds an unknown history, but those stories remain hidden, protected not by fences or soldiers, but by the people themselves, who refuse to be disturbed. Number 1. The Dulce Base Mystery. On the border of Colorado and New Mexico, near the town of Dulce, there is a mesa that has sparked decades of rumors. Conspiracy theorists claim that there is an underground base that is operated by both humans and extraterrestrials. The story began in 1979, when Albuquerque businessman Paul Benowitz said he intercepted unusual radio signals from the area. By the 1980s, he believed he had discovered a secret base housing gray aliens working alongside U.S. operatives. These ideas gained momentum when ufologist John Lear publicly supported them in 1987, saying he had evidence of the site's existence. Despite the attention, no physical proof has ever emerged. Still, the legend persists. Researchers, archaeologists, and journalists have all been denied access to the area. Whether the base exists or not, Dulce represents a larger issue: how secrecy, military zones, and speculation block efforts to uncover the truth. For now, It remains one of the Southwest's most enduring and inaccessible legends. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.